my God, isn't that the best song? So I'm going to let the words fall out. Wow, I feel so honored to be here. And the last times I was invited to speak, which were in Mumbai, which was wonderful, and also in Arizona, equally wonderful. The thing I talked about only was my document. And today, because I'm being brave, I would just like to share a few more things with you, and all of you who've just been before me just set me up perfectly for this. Thank you. Because what I want to talk about, I'll fall off this bar stool. I've never fallen off a bar stool. I want to say that. I want to talk about injustice, and I was just perfectly set up by Alea. Thank you so much for that. Because I think that we sometimes, even though we've done all of this work that we have, everything that we've been striving for, and I mean, I'm so grateful you're here, Steve. Just so wanted you to be here for this and take credit for where I am, please. Is because the document for me was like an absolute piece of liberation, and there was something still stuck for me that I really, truly needed to figure out. And it's been a long time that I've been in this space, and I want to share it with you. Maybe I'll start with a story that will kind of show you a little bit about like where I was and where I am, and how being so liberated by letting go of the things that you consider to be injustice in your life, where it can take you. And I also know, I just had a visit from a friend of mine a couple weeks ago from Israel. So I know that it is really a difficult thing for humans to let go of things that are such heinous injustice. And yet it's the only way that we can, thank you, Alea, again, like create peace in the world and peace in our hearts. So the first story I'll tell you, it's kind of funny. It starts out great, and then I'll tell you the end of the story. See, I think Steve is the only one in this room who knows this story. So at the beginning of our big, giant events, we used to do a big, giant opening, like lasers and fire, like big fire, plumes of fire, and a big, giant magic trick to open the show. And the big magic trick that I was asked to participate in was that there was going to be Becky getting into a cage, and then then they throw a shroud over the cage, and then Becky disappears, and she's supposed to turn up at the very back of the room, and then the lights would come back and shine on her, and it's like, well, how did she get there, right? So it was a tricky trick, for real. And so the day before the event, we went backstage and to see the actual tiger, and I mean, it's an actual big tiger. I would never do this again, because I feel sorry for the tiger. But the tiger was like kept in the dark on purpose. Nobody could go back there. They wanted to keep everybody away so the tiger wouldn't get agitated. Well, then there's the day of the show, right? So here's what, I'm gonna call her in the third person because I'm so not even her anymore, but here's what Becky had to do. Becky had to come out, walk up on some little steps that they rolled out, climb up in the cage, be in the cage, act afraid, which I actually was afraid because behind me was that actual tiger in the cage. This was when it was a live show, and everybody's out in the audience and cheering and clapping and screaming, and there's fire, and you can imagine that tiger. It was behind me, a little piece of cardboard like that thin was between me and that tiger, and it was breathing down my neck. And you know that cat spray smell and stuff, that was happening too. It was just terrifying, honestly. But now I'm acting like, I'm brave, and I'm holding on to the bars of the cage. And then the shroud comes over the cage, and I have literally seconds to open a little trap door down below my feet. And fortunately, I could fit in, like, you know how stairs go down like that. Fortunately, I could fit in those stairs. So I open this, I slide into that thing, and the minute I get out of that trapdoor shuts, and that activates this tiger to come down. Now, if I would have been a second off, or I didn't get in time, that tiger would have been on top of me. So I did it right, and I'm still here, and they wheel me off the stage, and now I run around, I get in the back, and when I would tell that story, and I told this story to Steve, and the end of the story I said, so obviously Becky was disposable. Right. So it's an interesting thing for me because I'm learning right now about what it takes, which is a very courageous thing, to let go of things that we consider to be injustices in our lives. And for me, being at the end of my relationship and having been in that world for so long and being at the beginning and the middle and then the end for me of that relationship was a really hard time and feeling so much injustice. I felt, and I'm saying this because I know that we've all had some feeling about this kind of thing. I felt like I was in exile. All of these things I did to myself. And some things were perpetrated. And I felt like I'm the good one. What's happening to me? I was in exile. Like, what's next? Who am I? What's my identity? I was Becky Robbins, and now who am I going to be? I don't even know her anymore. And it's been a really long time. So what I did was construct a safety net, which I felt like was my safety net that would be like, no matter what, I would be saved. Someone, maybe Tony, would come along and rescue me, save me from financial ruin or other kinds of things in my life. I felt like that I was not the person that was saving myself, that there was something that was going to come along and save me. And I'm so grateful because when it was first presented to me as a possibility that I let go of the whole idea of injustice, I couldn't for a long time because it was real, but it's true. But it might be true, but injustice requires a victim, and a victim requires a villain, and a villain, if you're going to be a victim, you're going to always have a villain in your life, whether it's going to be any kind of a victim, requires any kind of a villain. It could be the shutdown, it could be a financial problem, it could be a health problem, but the whole idea of being a victim in life is that we're denying our divinity. And I finally, the salvation, I just got chills down my legs. I know what that means. When we are denying our divinity, all hell breaks loose. And it is really, that's the whole problem with our world today, I think, is that we have forgotten that we are all chips off the divine block, so to speak. We are all that. And everybody has said that on the stage today. And to get that in your soul is how you can make your document work too, because I think otherwise, like, it can be a lot of words. So I'm just feeling at this point in my life that and I was talking to Gary about this in the car yesterday, that my absolute commitment, my commitment that cannot ever go away for me is the absolute one, is I've cut the cords of any kind of a safety net, and that liberates you from feeling like there's any kind of injustice that could ever happen to you in your life that you cannot get over. And I'm here for you to talk to me if you want to. And I'm also excited because I've been mentoring people recently, and this has come up for people, and I've been able to get to the bottom of it by helping them with a document and realizing that if you are judging yourself as someone who could be taken advantage of, you're going to be taken advantage of. I've been helping people with that and so many other things. So I'm so grateful. So now I do want to talk about my document with you because there's so many wonderful ways that we can work with our documents. And this came up for me a week ago, to realize that I'm created as God being Becky. And I'd like you to hear this. And I've written all over it because I keep changing it in these beautiful ways. So I'd like you to hear this, please, as if it's you. I am made of God, and you are the universe. We are all the universe. I am made of God, and as such, we belong to one another. I am made of God, and I am, and you are, one of a kind. I am made of God, and as such, I create magic in every area of my life. I am made of God, and as such, my life is a temple for my soul's growth, and my heart is open wide. I am made of God, and I am created as incredibly unique and incredibly beautiful. The created as part is so special for me right now. I just added that in. I was like, I arrived on this planet equipped with that. I was already created that way. I am made of God and created as a curator of epiphanies, a master of curiosity, and an expert at reciprocity. I am made of God, and as such, I'm created as divinely intuitive, inspiring, and present with everyone. I am made of God and created as capable, confident, brilliant, and accomplish the improbable and the impossible with ease. And I have to say that, like the moonshot, like, so how could you call and have someone say your art's going to the moon? So like what magic happens when you start creating in this way. I am made of God, and as such, the universe inspires greatness within me. I am made of God, and I'm created as an intrepid explorer of life and the beneficiary of the majesty of my Creator. I am created as a force of nature, and my imagination leaves footprints for others in my wake. I am made of God and created as being here to witness the majesty of God, to shine in and as the glory of God. I am made of God, and as such, I am that this is the part right this minute where I am appreciating this moment before it becomes a memory. I am made of God, and as such, I'm created as wonderment and certainty in the yet unknown. I am made of God, and as such, my art is divinely inspired, sought after, and collected by discerning heart space individuals, and it's on the south side of the moon, so next time you look up there, it's on the bottom. I am made of God, and as such, I am devoted to the care of my temple, and I stand inside a living miracle. You guys pointed that out yesterday. I am made of God, and as such, no one is worthy of my judgment, and everyone's worthy of my love. I am made of God, and as such, I'm created as a beacon of light and love and possibility. I'm created as love itself. I am made of God, and I'm created as grace upon grace, and my consistency compounds. I'm made of God, and I'm created as a nurturer of all humanity. I am made of God, and as such, I'm a powerful mentor to those who seek to soar, have impact, and leave a legacy. I'm made of God and created as the divine intelligence and pure love that has created my beloved, including the perfect timing of our union. I am made of God, and as such, this sacred, spiritual, and intimate relationship is filled with love and trust, joy and laughter, respect and stimulation, and we mutually honor and treasure one another. I am made of God and created as a lightning rod for miracles. This is who I am, and my mother named me Becky. I'm not done. Thank you for that. I believe that we are here to create a beautiful life. We're not created here to suffer. We're not created, suffering is optional. We're not created in that image of the Almighty God. We do that to ourselves. But to create a beautiful life is my endeavor, is to create a beautiful life inside and outside, not just through my art, but the way we take care of ourselves, the way that we create little esteemable practices for ourselves, that like all day long we can have something like that to look forward to and create that for others. And so I'm going to write a book. I'm excited. I'm started to write a book. It's going to be... And I think the title should be Brave. What do you think? Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all.